Hey, everybody. In our most recent two podcasts, we talked first about Joe Biden shipping our oil to China. Then, in the second segment, we talked about the bombing of the Georgia Guidestones. And we asked, well, who erected them in the first place and who bombed them into oblivion? Both still mysteries. And we also asked ourselves whether what was inscribed on that monument in any way reflected the alleged New World Order's plans to reconstruct society after it's destroyed by some kind of apocalypse. Now, there was serious discussion, but there was also a lot of kidding around, back and forth banter. Now, those were outtakes. We're going to toss them out, but then we took another look at them and we said, well, we got a kick out of it, so maybe our audience would too. So here they are, the outtakes for your enjoyment, hopefully. Here they are. I don't know, Mark, I think you're a plant to kind of brainwash us into steering away from the Masons being behind everything.
Oh yeah, I mean, we struggle to order what we want for dinner every night in the meeting. So taking over the world is much easier.
That sounds like the stock answer that we even have trouble ordering dinner, agreeing on that. When you're really controlling the world behind the scenes, it's just a bunch of guys getting together trying to do good things. We've heard those lines before.
Where haven't you drove anywhere, Larry, like far? I mean, it's like every little town you come into, right as soon as you hit the town bridge, Freemason Lodge or Rotary Club or something or other is always there.
Yeah. So, Mark, are you a 32nd degree Mason?
I'm a 32nd degree Mason.
How many degrees are there?
33.
So you're just one notch below the top people.
Yeah, just one notch, and I guess that one notch is what separates me from taking over the world.
Yeah,
and ordering pizza.
Since we're not on the record here, let's just say there are different views, Mark, and from Masons themselves, ex-Masons. They're probably going to wind up dead, but Masons that have broken away.
Don't forget the Scientologists. They're out there too, going to take over everything.
Well, if you wanted to take over things and you were a couple hundred years back in time, but you were making plans for 100 years in the future, one good way to do it would be through secret societies. You infiltrate everything that way.
But people have had secret societies, forever, because it's a bonding, and if people are, especially if they're in competition with some other group of people, it gives them some kind of psychological cohesion.
There's always some sort of
discipline, and it has a hierarchical structure of command. So it can give people at different times, it may give them a commercial or a military or some other kind of advantage in a given context.
There was always a religious connection, in my opinion, because either they were for the church, like the Knights Templar, or running away from the church, like other various groups that had to go underground.
Well, let me ask you this, Frank. Do you think the Eagle Scouts is a part of the New World Order?
Nah, but it might be a grooming for later.
Well then, okay, let's say. And why do you not think Eagle Scouts are part of the New World Order?
They might be. I told you, it might be a grooming.
They're pretty open. Everything that goes on in the organization. But if the Eagle Scouts had put a shroud of secrecy around on not going on, I can hear all kinds of theories. Oh, the eagle, they're coming down and they're going to grab the earth and rip the freedoms away from people. I can see tons of stuff coming out if they weren't that open. And that's the same thing with your secret societies.
Like I said, I don't have 10 or 12 things to bring you to show you. I have 100,000 things. And when I bring you 2 or 3, they're easily made fun of. Let me sit here and let me put on a presentation 8 hours a day for the next 10 days, and maybe I might make a dent.
Well, I don't mean to make fun of it. I just mean to, I would like to see you not feel that you were being manipulated or controlled by forces, because I don't think you are.
And I think a lot of this stuff is just your imagination running wild. One of my hobbies is I like to go ghost hunting. And I've gone to haunted houses and people say, this is the most haunted house in the United States. And you get in there with a completely open mind and you start, the cracking sound you hear, that's because of the water line that runs through the house. The reason why your electromagnetic meter is going crazy right now is because the electrical wiring in here was put in 1914 It's always something. If you just don't let your imagination run wild, you can always figure out the solution.
Figure out the solution. But what happens if the solution heads towards a nefarious group trying to control the world? Then it's resisted. It's completely resisted. It can be any other answer, but it can't be that one.
But why didn't they, if they was going to take over the world, why they didn't do it with Alexander the Great or Genghis Khan or the Roman Empire?
I already told you, the technology now presents itself where it's possible. You can track every single person and what they do 24/7. Nowadays, you couldn't do that back then.
Would that simply be that the security system of the countries just want to keep a better tab on people? And yeah, they may be misusing it. And you're thinking the misusement of that technology is under some greater scheme.
If somebody told me years ago that high-level governmental people and rich, influential people went into the middle of the woods and worshipped in front of a 40-foot owl and burned a child in effigy, I would have been like, "What are you nuts?" Until I saw the video evidence of it.
But here's the thing also, back in my fraternity days, yeah, we had stuff where we'd stand around a giant bonfire with the little monk rubs on it and chant stuff in Latin. But hey, were we planning on overtaking the world 30-something years ago at college? No. All you see here at this Bohemian Grove, I think, is a bunch of same old guys. I mean, I know people today that I went to college with that still go back and participate in those same rituals around those giant bonfires with the monk costumes on.
I never dressed up in a monk costume. Larry, did you dress up in a monk costume?
No, wait, no.
Run around naked in the woods and worship in front of a 40-foot owl?
Well, I run around naked in the woods. I got a lot of woods here.
Okay, yeah. See, that's why you're on the other side.
I could be on Google Global Earth or whatever it is, but anyway, okay. Let's get the second segment going there.
We're losing John.
No, I hear ya. I'm just gonna get this stuff going here.
Did I make Biden right that he loves the New World Order in 1992?
What does Biden even mean by it? What does he know? What's in his head?
Look up the article. I'm not stopping you from looking up the article. The article's title is "How I Learned to Love the New World Order." Wall Street Journal, Thursday, April 23rd, 1992.
Now, a lot of this could be semantics.
Read the article to us and tell us what he says he loves.
Take a look at the dynamics here. For Larry, Mark, and John, any other answer is fine, but it just can't be the New World Order thing. It just can't be the group of people trying to take over thing. Any other thing could be good, but not that one.
No,
all right, they are trying to take over. Are they getting close to doing it?
Well, I mean, take a look at the impact of life here. All right, there's thinking that the coronavirus is a chimera virus made of 5 different other viruses with a payload of COVID-19. That was intentionally released. There's documents showing that Fauci with, I forget, Peter Daszak, I just remember the name. Peter Daszak talked about releasing this to the Pentagon, and the Pentagon said, "What are you nuts? You're going to cause a war." But yet now we're faced with shots and lockdowns that caused disruption in food supplies and transportation. We have Bill Gates buying up all the farms in this country. We got food processing plants going south. Our prices are going sky high. Biden is shutting down the energy supply. Again, gas prices are going sky high. This could very well be orchestrated. How hard would it be to orchestrate? You get 20, 30, 40 guys in a room, all with power, all that can pull the string somewhere else. And you say, go do this, go do that, go this. And you got control.
I think that some of this could just be dispute over semantics. When you talk, we think of your overall concept as an ancient organization passed down through generations. Secretly.
It could very well be that.
But even if it isn't that, I could see, with modern technology and everything, and the growth of capitalism and extremely rich people, and the way it's coalesced now into a few groups controlling things. Yeah, it could be they're trying to take over the world, but it's not the kind of ancient, nefarious, evil, behind-the-scenes organization that is depicted so often. So are there a group of people, the big money players and powerful people, are they working more in sync, together now to affect the takeover, and the takeover meaning they control the economy, and maybe they're even going off in other directions. But what I'm saying is that I think part of the resistance that you get when you talk about this is that people picture, this evil organization, people in devil masks and dark robes and all that. It doesn't have to be that. So
It
actually,
doesn't have to, but it could be. Matter of fact, if you look up the Rothschilds and some of their parties, that's exactly what it is. And there's pictures on the internet to show it. They wear these goat masks and they wear all sorts of stuff. We're straight out of the Tom Cruise movie, Eyes Wide Shut.
Anyway, all right, let's get started on the second topic. Okay.
See, my point here is I've been doing this for 20 years. You guys are resisting every step of the way. You're never going to get nowhere. You have to kind of look into it to see it. If you don't look into it, you're like, that don't exist.
Oh, I've looked into it.
What now?
I've looked into it.
Say it exists, then what would be the next step you would advocate for us to follow or think about?
The first thing, if you're talking about a solution, the first thing that has to be done is people have to be woken up. Look at me. I'm fighting 3 different naysayers as far as this New World Order goes. This is typical. We got maybe 1/10 of the population, if that even believes this. If 90% of the people don't believe this, we're not going to get nowhere. We have to stop this. We're being attacked. This is a war against humanity. And one of their goals, stated in the Georgia Guidestones, is to reduce the world population. And it's stated elsewhere too. In their own books, they want to. I can show you videos of Bill Gates and others powerful like that talking about reducing the world population.
But you said earlier that you had pictures of the Rothschilds wearing the goat heads and all that kind of stuff.
Yes.
So if they're this really big power source that controls the internet, if I was them, I would make sure that stuff got deleted.
Yes, a lot of that stuff is being scrubbed. You can go to YouTube now and type in the words, and I hate to say it because, boy, all you guys are going to have kittens, Alex Jones. And what you're going to see is a video demonizing him, a video demonizing him, a video demonizing, where before they knocked him off everything, Alex Jones pretty much owned YouTube. He was everywhere. His views were like in the billions, 50 billion or something like that, some ridiculous number. He was the most popular person on YouTube. And because of that, he could have generated like $10 million a month revenue off that. They kicked him off. They screwed with the logarithm to allow searching only to show bad things about Alex Jones. They've taken all his videos down, and he had thousands of them up. It's being done.
Or the alternative to that is Alex Jones is just making up a bunch of lies, and YouTube got tired of lies being thrown out there.
But he's not making up lies. I've been with him for 20 years.
Then why is he losing all these lawsuits then? The law looks at the facts. He's losing these lawsuits left, right.
That's what I'm saying. You don't understand the depth of the control. George Soros, and you should know this, Mark, George Soros is buying up DAs and judges.
That's correct. He's buying up stuff so he can make more money. He buys the stuff up, then he pays off some politicians. Like, hey, can you pass a law that makes everyone buy this stuff?
After $500 billion, I don't think you need any more money. The only other thing you got now is ideology and control.
What was Dale Carnegie's favorite saying? Someone asked him one time, how much is enough? And this is when the guy was worth $700 million in 1912. They said, how much money is enough? And he said, just $1 more.
Now, someone calculated, I don't know what the exact number is, but some ridiculous thing where if you had $500 billion, you could spend $1 million per second and still not spend the whole thing by the time you're dead. Your whole lifetime could pass and you won't spend enough.
All of the 1%ers, how did they get to be, they got all that money before, 30 years ago, you didn't have as much. They got even more than they had 30 years ago when they were super rich.
Let me show you.
A whole pack of them have been, after getting more and more money in the last 15 to 20 years, particularly.
Here's that dispatch, CIA dispatch 1035-960. I'll only go down to here. You can look this up on your own and read the whole thing if you want. to employ propaganda assets to answer and refute the attacks of the critics. And now that's only one sentence. You can read the whole thing some other time. But this is what is causing people not to look into stuff. If you want to
they've
stop,
had the communist boogeymen, and now they've had to invent a whole new class of boogeymen. Since and they're doing
stop people from looking into stuff.
they're good at inventing boogeymen. I would think more of Alex Jones if he tried to get people to behave a little bit better towards one another instead of.
It has nothing to do with that. We're in a war. We're being attacked. We have to stop the attacking. We have to do something about it.
Yeah, I think he's just someone who's decided that he knows how to make money.
He doesn't give a darn about money. He's broke now. He's been stopped. He's been kicked off.
He made it for a while.
But like the stuff with Alex Jones, that shooting they had up there at Sandy Hook or whatever, and he was saying that this was some kind of big government undercover CIA operation by the World Order, and he lays out all this stuff on why there's doing. Like there was a book with only 10 people's name on it that could actually enter the building. Well, gosh, this was a small town's first major massacre. They only wanted people that were in there that should be in there. They didn't want people destroying evidence or stepping over stuff or reporters slipping in to take pictures. And he said, because of those 10 people, they had a list for only 10 people in there. All of a sudden, the 10 people are the guys in charge of the New World Order. And they could only go in there to clean up the bodies.
That's not it. I mean, that's not it. You're mixing all sorts
of... What if it was? What if it was?
But it wasn't. I was there during that time. I saw what took place. I saw the shows. I saw what he said.
You saw the shows. You saw the show. You saw what Alex Jones wanted you to see. Like when you say the New World Order, they want us to see what we want to see. Alex Jones showed you exactly what buttons to push to get you to. Yeah.
No, because it wasn't Alex Jones. It was others. See, that's the thing. You think it was only Alex Jones. YouTube was filled with videos from various people. I'd say hundreds at least, showing inconsistencies with Sandy Hook. Had nothing to do with Alex Jones. Alex Jones maybe spent 2 minutes on it per day until about 2-3 weeks into it. Other people came out with video after video. This is wrong. This is wrong. This is wrong. Don't you remember when Sandy Hook took place? They had a helicopter looking down in the woods for some guy in camouflage. Whatever happened to that story?
Yeah, actually, I saw that. There was a guy in the woods in camouflage. The story was on for one day. Never heard about it after that. So, I'm not beyond suspicion with Sandy Hook that something was manipulated there. But look, Rack, you're not going to get anywhere with Mark. He's the disinformation governance board of the Masons.
Nobody can be that bad. Nobody. As long as you belong to the human race, nobody can be that bad. You might have went sour, but once you realize what the hell's going on, nobody can be that bad. I don't think. Maybe.
Well, what's the implication of this explosion of these rocks that I never heard of before?
Okay, let's get into that.
No, wait.
You've never heard of the Georgia Guidestones?
I never heard of them.
Wow. Okay, I'll have to educate you. This will be fun.
Yeah.
This is a book by William Cooper from 1991. The government encouraged the manufacture and importation of military firearms for criminals to use. This is intended to drive. I can't read it very good. I can find a better picture like this. I want to get to here. Using drugs and hypnosis on mental patients in a process called Orion, the CIA did something to
inculcated.
Yes. I'm glad you can see it. I can't see it. Yeah. The desire in these people to open fire on schoolyards, 1991, on schoolyards, and thus inflame the anti-gun lobby. This plan is well underway and so far is working perfectly. Now, this is what has, look, why in a war, you got two sides. You got this side is going to kill 1 million people or 100 million people on this side. This side, 100 million people. So if two opposing forces in a war are well capable and willing to kill tens, hundreds of millions of people, why not just do a covert operation, kill 10, 20, 30, and get what you want in the first place? If you want the disarming of America, you don't need to have a big war. You don't need to have big anything. All you got to do is set up some schmuck with covert whatever, send them in, have them shoot up the most biggest thing that's going to get people going, and that's children. and then just keep doing that until they capitulate to what you want. If you
How many
say,
times
oh,
will it
wait a
take?
minute,
I wonder.
if-
How many schools they have to hit? Do you think?
well,
They
that's
must-
the point.
they
The
must
Second
know.
Amendment in this country is extremely strong. Matter of fact, there's a meme about that saying, where you see all these people like Biden and Obama and all these others saying, how many kids do we have to kill for you to give up your guns? There's a joke meme about that. But anyway, you got the Dunblane massacre in England. You got Port Arthur in Australia. By the way, a month apart, 1985 or something like that. I forget. You got Christchurch, New Zealand. You got Nova Scotia, Canada. All right. All these things have the same thing in common. Some weirdo goes in, shoots up something. There's a big cry, and the government comes out. Oh, we're taking your guns. We're gonna have to stop this. Well, we're doing it for you. This is psychological operations.
Let me throw this at you. I've been in the military. Did you know that the military has actually conducted zombie apocalypse exercises?
Yeah, because take a look what's going on nowadays.
No, seriously, they really have. They really have. Do you know why they do those?
No, why?
Because when you do a crisis intervention, if it's a tornado, a terrorist attack, you have to do the same things. You have to get supply lines open. You have to get water to the area. You have to get medicine. You have to get transportation for the wounded out. You have to set up security. Whether it's a zombie apocalypse, a tornado, explosion, whatever, it's the same basic logistic setup. And then once you do these things so many times, the Army will let's throw in something funny and call it a zombie apocalypse, and we'll throw some zombies in it just to change it up a little bit to add some excitement. But it's the same process. You have to do the same thing in a zombie apocalypse as you do in a tornado drill or a tornado disaster. So if we have a tornado disaster and they activate the Army and start setting up the same supply lines they would during the zombie apocalypse drill, are people going to say the tornado was a comet that fell from the earth and all the people in the zone are going to turn into zombies? That's why they're setting up the same program that they rehearsed in the zombie apocalypse.
They very well might. I can see
You
it.
see, it's you're just taking information and you're exploding it. Your imagination is just exploding it.
All right, guys, let's get this segment going. Okay. All right.
Why can't you just use clips from what we're talking about?
We could, but I mean, I want to focus more specifically now on the Guidestones. This other stuff, maybe I can make a third segment out of it. So,
Well, you better double check with Mark if he wants to release what he said about Freemason.
all right.
I'm not worried.
He's going to get murdered. He's going to get assassinated by the upper level
That's what I'm
Masons.
That's right. That's what I told them earlier. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm actually the third highest ranking person in the Mason, so I don't think I've got anything to worry about.
Oh, okay.
You mean
I'm
nationally?
actually a 397th degree, so
That's what Captain Morgan thought, right?
What's
Is that
that?
what Captain Morgan thought?
Alexa, dismiss. Alexa, stop.
I
See,
can
I
hear-
said something about the Masons and my Alexa came on. Oh my gosh, I'm being spied on now.
See that? Yeah.
Say something about some type of material with your cell phone by, like say you want to buy a bicycle or you
I
want to
know.
buy
I
a
know.
t-shirt or whatever, and then watch what happens with your ads the next few days.
Yeah. I know.
Yeah, that's called business owners wanting to make more money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. I'm not saying that's a conspiracy, but what I'm saying is we have the capability of monitoring everybody now.
Yeah.
Great,
Oh,
to
they're
make more money
definitely
off.
doing that. You know, they're trying to follow everything, every whim we have, so they can sell something to us, or they can see us driving down the street. They got all the cameras out all over the place.
Yeah. Years ago, I worked in Newtown where the Sandy Hook massacre took place.
And you know that's a secondary place for the Church of Satan, second headquarters or whatever.
Well, that explains some of the people I worked with at the time. But, no, I didn't know that. How long has that been?
I don't know. I don't think it's there anymore, but it was there during the time.
Yeah.
I think it was like the secondary headquarters of the Church of Satan or something to that effect.
You're not confusing it with Salem, Massachusetts, all right?
No, Newton. You just look it up. Look up the
Newton.
origins of the Church of Satan or something like that, and you'll see one is somewhere else and one is Newtown, Connecticut.
Oh, Connecticut.
As far as George's, like I said, I don't think it's there anymore. I think they stopped it a while back. But during the time, it was there.
Yeah.
And there's this, oh man, see, I can go off and off and off. There's this guy that was an ex-state policeman. He was also a school safety inspector. And he was a lot more instrumental in Sandy Hook stuff than Alex Jones was. Wolfgang Halbig is the name. And boy, did they smash that guy to smithereens.
What's that background, Brad?
That's the Georgia Guidestones blown up.
Oh, okay. Yeah. All right, you guys set? In 3, 2, 1. Okay.